All right, so the third example is converting units of weight. So just to review real quickly, example one was converting units of length. So we were dealing with inches, feet, yards, stuff like that. In example two, we dealt with units of capacity. So cups, quarts, liters, stuff like that. And then in this section, we're going to be talking about weight. So, pounds, ounces, those kinds of things.
The alpine pika is a small mammal in the rabbit family. How much does the alpine pika weigh in pounds? The scale shows that the pika weighs 10 ounces. The number of ounces in the conversion rate is greater than the number of ounces that the pika weighs. We'll use division to find the equivalent rate. One way to convert ounces to pounds is to use an equivalent rate. Identify the conversion rate from the table. 16 ounces equals 1 pound. The conversion rate is the ratio of 16 ounces to 1 pound. To find the equivalent ratio for 10 ounces, divide both the numerator and denominator by 1 and 6/10, because 16 divided by 1 and 6/10 is equal to 10. Now calculate 1 divided by 1 and 6/10, which is equal to 625 thousandths. In the fraction, the numerator shows the weight in ounces and the denominator shows the weight in pounds. So, the alpine pika weighs 625 thousandths of a pound.
All right, so that's great. My not an issue, but my concern with this is near the beginning. I'm going to go back to it to highlight it, but near the beginning, they say something like, since this is greater than that, we're going to divide. There's no real, for me, there's no real number sense to that. There's nothing that tells me I should divide there. So let's hear it again and see if it makes sense to you. And if it does, that's great. If it doesn't, you're with me, and I need a little trick that we'll talk about again.
Use division to find the equivalent rate. Equivalent is greater than the number of ounces that is in the.
There we go.
The number of ounces in the conversion rate is greater than the number of ounces that the pika weighs.
So that was their reasoning to know how to divide, that this is greater than that, so they were going to divide. Again, if that works for you, great. If not, maybe our brains work the same. So in order for me to know what to do, that's why I love that technique that I highlighted the last couple of slides, right? If I know I'm going from 10 ounces, that's how much this pica weighs, 10 ounces, and I want to know how many pounds that is, then what I need to do is have that little, those three-letter acronyms, right? I'm going from ounces to pounds. So that's smaller to bigger, right? So smaller to bigger units, I'm going to remember that I should multiply. So something, SBD is a acronym, is a common thing, especially with some of the seventh grade boys, that you might choose to remember to divide, right? So if you're going from a smaller unit to a bigger unit, remember to divide. And again, SBD may be that reminder that you needed. So I know that I'm going to divide, is what that tells me. Well, divide by what? Divide by your conversion rate. How many ounces are in a pound? There are 16 ounces in a pound. So I'm going to do 10 divided by 16. So certainly you get the same answer, right? They divided. I just am uncomfortable with why they said that you were going to divide. This makes more sense to me, and maybe it's helpful to you. If not, and you like the way the book does it, that's absolutely fine. But in either case, there's the conversion.
Another way to convert ounces to pounds is to use dimensional analysis. Multiply the weight of the pica in ounces by the conversion factor, which is 1 pound divided by 16 ounces. Notice that the conversion factor is the reciprocal of the fraction that we used to solve the problem earlier. Why is this form of the conversion factor useful?
So this is useful because of the ounces here and ounces there. They actually wind up canceling out. So we can just kind of ignore the unit and we get 10 times that is going to give us the answer in pounds.
By using this form of the conversion factor, we can divide out the common units. Ounces cancel out of the expression, so the equivalent expression is 10/16 pound, which in decimal form is 625 thousandths of a pound. The alpine pica weighs 625 thousandths of a pound.
All right, so again, there's three ways of doing the same skill, two from the book and one from the crazy mixed up mind of Mr. Hampshire, but that's how I think. But pick one, stick with it, and then you're less likely to make mistakes. All right, so the rest of the questions from those two pages, we're going to ask you to do. Actually, it's just two questions, number 13 and 22. So please go ahead and do numbers 13 and 22. Make sure you get anything checked that you haven't, and if you have any questions, make sure you ask. Good luck.